Hi, welcome to Games, Tech, and Geekdom. I'm Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite all-time gaming devices. It's a mobile gaming device by Sega. And no, we're actually not talking about the Sega Game Gear. I have one of those. It's cool, but I'm actually talking about the Sega Genesis Nomad. Why Sega Genesis Nomad? Well, it actually is a Genesis device. This plays Genesis games. Nomad because it's mobile. Well, it's kind of mobile, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, a quick rundown on the history of the unit. I'm not going to get real deep in history because somebody's already done that better over at the Gaming Historian, and I'm going to provide a link to him in the show notes because he did a wonderful job talking about this device. So anything I can't answer is probably going to be answered in that video. But real quick, this was released in 1995 in North America only. So North America was the only ones who got a hold of this thing at the time. It has a 322 by 224 resolution and a 512 color palette. At the time, on a mobile device, that was really, really good. Now, of course, today that would not be so great. But at the time, it was outstanding. I played this thing a lot as a kid. This was one of my favorite things to ever use. I had tons of games for it. It was wonderful. Unfortunately, this came out right at the end of Sega's Genesis lifespan, and so it didn't necessarily sell as well as it should have. It sold about 1 million units. Now, some people would say it sold just as many as it should have because it was awful with battery life, which is why I say kinda mobile. This thing had a huge battery pack you had to stick on the back here. Snap right on the back, and you slide that in. It have, I believe, if I remember correctly, 8 AA batteries. And the problem with that, the reason it wasn't very mobile, is that lasted you about 2 hours. 2.5 hours. Really just drained the batteries so very fast. So it wasn't exactly a great mobile device, but it was a cool handheld device. So you pretty much were going to have it plugged in anytime you were using it, just because, man, those batteries got expensive. The build of this thing, really nice. The D-pad, I've been told by some people they think it's a little squishy at first, but the second they use it, they realize how absolutely responsive it is. This thing's really nice. I personally like it. The start and mode buttons, essentially start and select, nice rubber buttons. They still feel good to this day. The A, B, and C buttons right here, you can tell this thing was not cheaply built. The X, Y, and Z buttons as well. Now, one interesting note, when the Genesis first came out, it only had the 3 buttons, the A, B, and C. It did not have any more than that, so many Genesis games only work with the A, B, and C buttons. But it doesn't. The second generation controller came out that had the X, Y, and Z. You can play both types of games on a 6-button system, so it's not a problem. The other cool things about this is it did have a TV out connection. So this actually was a full Sega Genesis. You could play right on your TV if the screen was too small for you. Cartridges go right in there, no problem. So it takes all the Genesis cartridges. So if you had a big Genesis library, suddenly had a mobile device for all those games. The other really, really cool thing about this, right here, that's another controller port. You can hook this up to your TV, hook up a second controller, play 2-player games with your friends, this being player 1, second controller being player 2, and you had just a great time with this. That meant, hey, guess what? It really is a Genesis. Now this one, I actually bought this on Etsy. This is not the one I had as a kid. I wish I knew where that was. It's somehow gone missing from moves and, having put things in storage and things like that. At some point, this thing went missing. I wish I could find it. I'm still looking for it. I'm not going to give up. But I bought this on Etsy. I'm going to try to find a link to the people who I bought this from because they were awesome. They have a bunch of gaming stuff, and I'd like to show them off because I am so appreciative that I found this at not only at a fair price, but they got it to me very quickly. And I live in Alaska, so it takes a long time sometimes for people to get stuff to me. So they were all over it. I really appreciate that. The other thing I really appreciate they did, because I was going to do it myself, is they've modded the screen. Now again, that screen had a 322 by 224 resolution, which at the time was fantastic, but today, not really. We expect more today. And so they put in an LCD screen that gives it a nice, crisp, clear display for me. So I'm going to pop a game in here real quick. Comic Zone. By the way, I did not have this game when I was younger. I got this recently. This is a really cool game. I will do a review of this. This is awesome. Oh, one other thing about the design. Notice, it's slanted. Why? I don't know. I know it's weird, and it's there for some reason. And so anyway, back to what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in because I don't have that massive battery pack. Not that I really want to use it. It sticks out pretty far, but it does stay clear of your hands. So I'm going to turn this on, and you're going to see this is a normal Sega Genesis. Mono sound, because that was pretty common with the Genesis. I'm not sure how much this is going to show up on the screen. I hope it shows up well on the camera, but this is actually really beautifully clear to play games on. I'm going to lay this down a little bit, and maybe that'll help. It seems to be coming through okay, so I'm going to trust that it's going to show up well. I'm going to turn the audio off here. Now, the one downside, if it really is a downside, of doing this mod is there's another scroll wheel right here. The audio's over here. The scroll wheel right here is for the brightness. Now, that's for that original screen. That doesn't do anything with the LCD screen. It doesn't exactly seem necessary anyway, although it might have been helpful for this video, but when actually looking at it, this comes through so clear, I don't see a reason why I would need a brightness adjustment. But that's kind of it with this thing. It's a Genesis, it's really cool, and I will get some video of me playing it up for you guys really soon. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching Games, Tech, and Geekdom. If you like this episode, please give me that like. Please subscribe because I'm trying to get this thing going. Thank you very much. Have a great day.